I'm Paweł Swoboda, Battery Hub Director with Solaris for some time now, and wanted to talk about the recent developments within our company concerning batteries. So to tell you why we are doing it, because it's important that the changes and the electromobility shifting. We want to explain why we are doing a new department, why we are doing changes with the product. We also want to talk about the after sales and the services that can be provided behind. But let's jump to why we are doing it. So Solaris was always number one in Europe with providing electrical vehicles. We were registering the most, and the numbers from the first half of 2023 also showed us that we are still leading. We delivered 421 electric buses, and when you look at those numbers, you say, well, it's great with amount of batteries. Europe is keeping constantly into green emission reduction, but for me it's batteries. It's a lot of batteries put on those vehicles, and we need to handle that both from product, from cost, environmental and ESG perspective, and that's why we decided to put a battery hub, a new division within Bolechowo factory, which will be a part of the factory structure, to focus on batteries, to have a focused strategy surrounding the product, shorten the decision making, connecting development, operations and after sales together, so we are not making a new battery that is not applicable with service or not backward compatible. The team will be dedicated just to batteries and only focused on battery area. So we want to be closer to the customer. We want to understand what's the most important parts there, what you want to have from it, and connect it to our today's development and its situation. Of course, this is the part of bigger system. The whole battery comes into the bus, so we need to have this learning culture inside the organization as well, connecting to other departments. But the goal is one: to have the best vehicle possible, to deliver the best performance, to be the leaders in this field. So Solaris Battery Hub will be reinforcing the decision making, will be focused on strategic planning, will be shared on 4 departments, subdivisions that are targeting our development in batteries and in the future, from research, from starting to find new chemistries, new types of batteries. You will hear about them, sodium, LFMPs and other. We need to explore them. We need to know what's the best for the vehicle, for the customer, and get there. Product management is focused on batteries, on today's real life, and product management is handling those batteries we have here on our buses. Operations are both from the perspective of supporting us internally, but also to be more resilient onto the disruptive market as batteries are, because you all know that there's a lot of investments, a lot of new gigafactories, and those things are shaping the future, but we need to be ready for that, and we cannot put those risks on our customers that we will be not able to deliver batteries and therefore vehicles because there is some disruptive on transport or whatever else. So operations are also focusing on minimizing the risks associated with handling a volatile market as batteries are, and of course after sales, least but not least, which is connected to the value the battery have after we finish its use on the vehicle. We all know that we have vehicles that are driving 6-8 years now. The batteries are running near the end of warranties or even over the warranty period, and there are questions: what to do with them? Should we exchange them? Should we use them until end of the vehicle? What's the best strategy here? How to gain the value? And Battery Hub is trying to work with the customers to find the proper solution to adapt and get the most value from it. So this is the part of our long-term strategy. This is the part of our road which we chosen years ago when we put the first electric vehicle on the market. We decided to have 2 groups of product. The first one is the high power family, and the other one is high energy. So those two groups of products are together to provide the customer the best solution, the best adaptive way to provide the mileage, the amount of passengers, the weight of the vehicle. So high power family is dedicated for ultra fast charge, superior life expectancy, superior life performance, and it found its synergy as well in our hydrogen and trolleybus vehicles. This is due the way we are using those vehicles, and the synergy between the fuel cell, the recuperation, allows us to extend and get new functionalities into the vehicle, with securing the outstanding performance on the warranty side. The high energy group is focused on providing high energy density, one-day charging, and keeping the bus operational for 300 or more kilometers per day. This comes with extra high energy density, found its synergy with urban and intercity, and of course it also allows us to be acceptable with the costs. And here I want to mention that those groups of families are based on chemistries. So high power group is based today on LTO, so lithium titanate oxide, but it's not just there. The high power family, it's not just LTO. It's today LTO because only this electrical chemical system provides us the performance we need. While if there will be new or different systems available, we will of course incorporate them, but they will be always high power batteries there. The same with high energy. Today it's represented with Solaris portfolio with NMC, so nickel, magnesium, cobalt, while the other one is LFP, so lithium ferrite phosphate. And those two chemistries give us the synergy we need to provide the best performance for the vehicle. If there will be a new system, if there will be something new coming, of course we will incorporate that and use it to extend this family. And using this occasion, I wanted also to introduce to you our next generation of batteries that we will, and we actually have. You sit next to them on the electrical vehicle. Those batteries are the next generation NMC system. They are replacing our previous generation of NMC batteries. And why we did that? Why we put a new battery? Because it has superior energy density. In proper settings, it has 15% more of energy density, which contributes to more passengers or bigger range. So thanks to just using this battery in every platform, we can have more passengers or bigger range. Of course, with this extended energy density comes extended performance. So we are more sure and more stable with warranties and performance of the battery, giving longer periods of warranty than we did previously. Of course, this battery is another step with us treating ESG as a fundamental base for designing batteries. So they are connected to the environmental system and solution. And it's worth to mention here that most of all the critical components in this battery are sourced in Europe. So we are having the European cells, European BMS, European housing, cooling system. This is all coming inland. Thanks to that, we are also very unsure about due diligence, carbon footprint, because we have the same regulations among European countries, and we have the same requirements for our suppliers and suppliers of our suppliers, ensuring that the local sourcing and ESG will come together. This is also a reply to be more responsible, to manage better the risks associated with the supply chain. Locally sourced is much easier to handle in a disruptive time like we had previously with components and electrical units. The flexible installation allows us to build this battery into all our platforms. It's backward compatible. It fits all the vehicles we have. Of course, the best synergy is in the modular drive, in the green bus we are presenting here, but as well all other platforms. So 9 meter, 15 meter, 24 meter, all of those vehicles will use this battery, can have them. It's just a matter of the best synergy and pushing to the limit the performance that we got in the modular system. And this is slide that you've probably seen at the conference on Friday, where we are proud to announce that we are able to deliver 600 kilometers on this 80 meter bus, thanks to the synergy, thanks to the components that are put together and work the best way possible. So here I want to jump to the second life scenarios, second life operations of batteries. So we previously called it second life, but this implies many different scenarios. Second life doesn't mean that after the first life of the battery, when it reaches 80% of state of health, we will take it out of the vehicle. So second life says we can take it, repair it, refurbish it, and put it back to the vehicle. And I wanted to focus today not on the second life, so what can we do after the initial 80% of the SOH. I wanted to talk about what we will do with the batteries when they are dismantled from the vehicle. So we call this period of time out of vehicle battery life. And of course, we all know batteries run up to 80-75% of state of health, and they still have 80 or 70% of their worth inside. So how to use it to not only scrap it and get raw materials. Of course, the best way is to accommodate them in a different application. The most common one today is energy storage. So let's build a huge storage next to our depot or for the grid to help out work with. We call this repurpose because we take a traction battery and it becomes something else. We are using this graph to kind of explain how does it work. So let's start with a fleet of 200, 300 vehicles, depending on the battery amount of batteries on the vehicle. Let's say the overall fleet energy is 100 megawatt hours that are installed. They drive for some time, depending on the way you use it, up to 80% when we say it's not fulfilling the mission profile anymore. And now we have a few decisions that we can make. We can, of course, follow the standard way of using. So say, let's drive them until they're dead. And that's one of the ways you can use it. And this is the light green area, but it ends up in one point, recycling. The life of battery degrades very fast. It drops very rapidly. And when you have 20% of state of health, the battery doesn't perform at all. So you need to scrap it, get raw materials out of it. While the other scenarios say that when you have this breaking point, when you have this start of this declination, you can take the batteries and rescale them, saying that this 80% is new 100. The rescaling is not just about the energy. It's not just tuning the energy you had down to 100%. It's also scaling the temperature range, the depth of discharge, the current, power, charge, and discharge. So when you scale that and you incorporate the DOD, so different depth of discharge, the standard one for energy storage is 55%, you will get 45 megawatt hours to use for some period of time. Again, the period of time depends on the way you use it. So if it's a grid balancing, it has a much different working profile than a grid buffering or a charger extension. Of course, there are many different ways you can use this profile. You can narrow down the energy even more, reducing it down to 60 and saying this is new 100. So you will prolong the way of use. The energy throughput is the most important factor here. Of course, in some point, because batteries are subject to electrochemical corrosion, they will degrade through time. So it's obvious that in some point, regardless of the scenarios we did, we will run out of the energy in the battery, and then we still need to focus on recycling to get raw materials from it to be sustainable. But out-of-life vehicle is a considerable part of this, and we are here to support our customers to find the proper value with it. And we can find this value with two concepts, which I wanted to share with you. The first one is pretty straightforward. You have your fleet, you drove in your fleet, now you have the batteries, you can take them out, put them into a container. We use 20 feet container because it's easy to handle. It should incorporate around 24 battery packs from today's build. And this should give you roughly 1 megawatt hour container. The container is built within the thermal management. It's built within the power electronics, so it's ready to plug to the grid. Of course, the more containers you have, the bigger energy storage you have. The grid may need to have some extensions from their side, but if you have a couple of those, you can buffer the energy you have from your depot, from your green generation, solar panels or wind. You can store it, you can use it on your resources. You can even buy the energy in a lower tax and then use it in the prime time. So the parameters are there. Of course, it's all subjected on the state of cells in the beginning of the process, but this concept is feasible for us today with the new batteries we have and the older generations that we have. The other concept is to extend the charger. It's very similar. We also take the batteries, we diagnose them, we put them into a container, we change a bit the power electronics around it, we build a bigger thermal management, and we can charge it we can plug it directly to the charger. And then you have a charger that can use 100% of its power because it's not connected only to the grid, but also from the buffer battery. I'm not sure how many of you have chargers on depots or use them, but it's very common that you have 600 kilowatt pantograph and the grid only allows you to use 200 because you have 5 of those and the grid connection is just 1 giga. So in this case, the buffer battery allows you to charge with full power, and then when the vehicle drives, the energy storage is replenishing in wait for the next vehicle. It can also be replenished during the night or from your green generation energy. As you can see, the energy in the extension is a bit smaller because it needs to be more responsive into the power profile. That's why it's less than the first one, and it's also connected by the DC-DC link to the charger, so the grid is less dependent because we don't need to have this inverters installed. We can directly push energy from the energy storage to the vehicle to buffer the energy. And basically those two concepts are not only one on the market, but the key one. I was asked to prepare a final message on my presentation, so I would say that Solaris is entered zero mobility, and we are progressing with the strategy that is consistent for years, and we are evolving. We don't do a revolution. We are moving forward, leading the market, and trying to get better solutions each year to get the best solution for our customers. And the Battery Hub is a reply to that, to be more agile, to be more adaptive on the market, and to deliver better products.